Hey, can you introduce yourself?
Hello, my family friends. I'm Stacey. It's
All
very
right,
nice to meet you.
Stacey. Gonna ask you a couple questions here. Where were
Okay.
you and how did you feel before we started working together?
So mentally, I was in not a fantastic place. Like I've never been someone who really struggled with anxiety or depression, but as far as like a confidence level is concerned, if 10 is the most, I was probably walking around at like a 3.
Mm,
And internally I was a 10, but my reflection was like a 3. And I wasn't happy. I wasn't unhappy, but I wasn't happy. And I probably felt more validated in my behavior choices, saying
mm,
like, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow.
yep. And so where were you at with your weight back then?
Way before I started working with you, I was at 203. I went to a doctor's appointment and stepped on that scale and it rung in at 203. And it just made me go, crap.
Yeah. And so what got you to that point? What was the biggest struggle for you back then?
I love clothes, fashion, shoes, putting together a look, taking pictures on vacations and things like that. And I just avoided it all. I avoided my camera. I wore stuff that was sweatpants and really loose. When you wear sweatpants and stuff that's really loose, and when you're at 200 pounds, you feel even bigger, right? And so it just, every time I walked past a mirror, I thought, like, my God, who stung me?
Yeah.
I was just in a place where I was unhappy with what I was seeing and I didn't do anything. I like to get lost in a city. I like to explore stuff. I like to meet people. And I found myself just not living
Mhm.
because I was not ashamed, but I lacked the confidence in myself to present myself the way I wanted to be seen.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Did you have any hesitations prior to deciding to going to an online coach?
No, no, I'm a decisive person. So when the decision was made, the decision was made. And I was like,
Yeah.
Joy, let's do this. Let's go.
Yeah.
And
And you
then
were
from there,
ready. I mean, I think at
I
that
was totally
point,
ready.
you were ready for change. Yeah.
I was 1,000% ready. It was like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
no, there was no
Great.
hesitation.
Okay. What have been your specific results since we started together?
I weighed myself this morning. I'm at 152.8. So that is a nice hearty 56 odd pounds off these bones,
Crazy.
which is crazy. I
Crazy.
dropped down from being like a 12, 14 to a 6'8" when it comes to sizes. So I wore this spectacular red velvet jacket just recently in South Carolina that just fit me like a glove, and it's a size 6. I've got hips and I've got a booty. So, like things are not always proportional, but those size 8s are a little loose. They're a little loose.
Yeah. Awesome.
From a confidence perspective, I just feel like I'm conquering the world. I feel like there's nobody that I'm not willing to go out and talk to and meet, because I was so open to this whole thing and I really committed to it. I put my life into this, right? So I changed my sleep patterns. I changed my water intake. My breakfast mornings, because I made the same breakfast every morning, and Joy was like, please don't do that anymore. And I was like, okay, well, I'll get there. And then she was, my God, if she wasn't right. So I found the same option, just making it myself. It's just so much better. I think more than that too, I've become an example. So I've got my mom working through the same nutrition program that I'm on. My friend Allison, I just spoke with her at length about it too. I talked to people on the plane about it. Because somebody said something about going to ride horses, but like they didn't want to get in their jeans or something. And so she talked about like she's going to get home and she's going to start dieting. And I was like, let me tell you what I did.
Yep.
So I was like, I got this coach. She's incredible. So I gave her your Instagram. And then I talked to her about the nutrition service that I have deliver me food too. So I talked about both things.
This has been really restrictive, or have you been able to balance?
No. I haven't restricted anything. I look at everything differently. I look at it like, is the juice worth the squeeze, right? Is that moment of that whatever item worth the progress that I've made? And often I find myself just saying no, or maybe I'll have a bite of somebody else's. And that's really all I want, is just like a little satiation, right? Like a little like, oh yeah, that's good. But I also find that because I've been so clean for so long, that if I do something that feels more indulgent, I really feel awful.
Cool.
But no, like as far as restrictions are concerned, nope, I still drink all my margaritas. I still have my champagne. I still drink my wine, but I allow for those things.
Yes. And you're still getting results. I mean,
Yeah.
and this is the thing. So, I mean, it really has been a big lifestyle change for you. And we've
1,000%.
gone slowly. You know, this wasn't like 50 pounds all in 1 month. It was like
Mm-mm.
we did a progression. And I remember when we first started, it was like, yeah, you were so set on eating those Jimmy, whatever, McMuffin things, you know? And then it was like a couple months later that you're like, oh, I can make my own. And then I remember when you got the Whoop and you started really focusing on your sleep, because
Mhm.
this is a whole picture. You know, it's
Yeah.
not just nutrition. It's not just the training. It's looking at this whole picture. And that's when, for me at least, when you really stepped up to the plate.
Yeah. Took it all on, you know, because
Good.
I didn't want to do something halfway or 3/4 of a way or 7/8 of the way.
Mhm.
I was going to do it and I was going to do the whole thing. And so I wanted to look at the full picture, right? And how everything impacts just how I feel. And I physically feel so great. I went and got my hormone panels done.
Mhm.
And she came back and she's like, well, you're perfectly healthy. And I was like, ah,
You didn't tell me that part. That's awesome.
this is great. This is great, right? She's like, there's nothing going on. Like everything looks really good. I was like,
Wow. Yes. Home run. Okay. Talk to me about the workouts, likes, don't likes, how you're feeling, strength gains.
it's been a lot of fun to go and do that. I think when I was first starting, I was doing back squats at like 75 pounds, maybe 80 pounds if I was feeling strong. And now I'm back up to 155. So that's super fun. I was doing pretty light deadlifts, light because like I've always said my posterior chain was incredibly strong. So deadlifting for me was pretty simple. So I was doing stuff like 165, right? But now I'm up to like 230 on my deadlifts. And we're not talking like singles, I'm talking like 230 for 5. That's awesome. And then we're sort of like in a bodybuilding cycle. So just like watching the development of isolated muscles is super fun. Like I like putting on like tank tops and stuff. And like as you're putting them on, like you just watch like your shoulder muscles right here. And I'm just like, yeah, that's sexy.
Yeah. I love that.
Even from like a metabolic conditioning perspective, just not getting gassed, you know, being able to do a quick 10 burpees and be like, well, that was wildly easy. Or in time domains, trying to get as many rounds as possible done, where it's like, this would be a good benchmark, you know, like if you can get it done in 6 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, I got it done in 4.
Yay, I love it. Okay, last one. What would you say to someone that is considering working with me or an online coach?
I would just say that just do it, right? Part of the reason why I chose to work with you, Joy, is because I trust you. I trust your approach. You have a very realistic, pragmatic way of looking at things. You're not saying, let's completely change your lifestyle. You're saying, like, let's make incremental and impactful steps that really make a difference. And then we all know what to do, right? We all know, like, don't eat all the burgers, don't eat all the pizza, like, go to the gym. We all know what to do. But how to do it so that it makes the biggest impact is something that you need a coach for. And the accountability component, that's what I needed. I walked into the gym and I knew what all the machines were, but I had no idea where to start. I didn't know what the program was I should be doing that was going to help me get the best result. And so I just needed someone smarter than me that knew everything about this space to say, like, here you go, and to take the guesswork out. And I can just be like, got it done. And then there's accountability and a friendship with a coach like this. And as much as I'm doing this for me, I also don't want to let you down in the process too. So there's a partnership that evolves. And I genuinely wouldn't be where I'm at right now if I didn't have you specifically, Joy. I just wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have stuck to it because I trust you so much. And I know that you wouldn't have told me to do anything that would have been outside of my comfort zone or not within my best interest.
Aw, thank you. You're the best.
Like legitimately. And I tell everybody about it. You know, I'm like, if you want to know what I'm doing, like, this is my coach. She's amazing.
Yeah.